Okay, you're now tuning in to On the Corner interviews, brought to you by the Corner Talk podcast. My name's Eddie.
You already know who it is, that one nigga Nick.
And go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
Today I'm here, you can call me Frank 9.
Okay, so 9, that's Frank 9 is the name?
Yeah, so I did change my name recently. I know previously you guys did meet me as 9 Sam, and then you guys do call me 9. But, so I guess we can start off like saying 9 Sam been my name since like 2012. That's the original artist name that I started with. But I had a lot of people like encounter misspelling my name, not knowing how to pronounce it. And then 9 Sam was just kind of a word I kind of made up. It was like a character's name. And now I have kind of want a name that has more of a identification, you know, like an actual name. So Frank, the reason I chose Frank was because I had an uncle who used to take me to guitar classes when I was like in first grade. His middle name was Franklin, and sadly he was deported like a couple years back. And he came back into the States, but he had to change his name to live low profile, you know. So I kind of just want to pay homage to him, pick up the name Frank. Also pay homage to Frank Sinatra, one of the legends in the you know, music industry. So yeah, Frank 9.
So Frank 9, what do you do, man, for the people that don't know?
What don't I do, honestly? But I'm very artistic. You know, whether it's painting, whether it's making music, whether it's directing, whether it's Photoshop, Illustrator, Lightroom, whatever you guys can think of, I try to get involved. I try making beats, but that's like the one thing I don't do too much.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Can't do it all. I mean, shit, you the modern renaissance man. You know, you doing everything right now.
Yeah, I mean, I got to, you know, one-man team will take you far, so.
So as far as the music, what are you doing with music?
Right now, I got you guys do know Gold Mines Studios, so we've been working on a couple tracks. I want to say we've accumulated about 7 to 8 tracks that we got going on right now. Like different sounds, kind of just like debating which sound we want to go with. Aside from that, I'll be working with this other studio that's in Sun Valley, and we're gonna be working 2 sessions in there, 2 5-hour sessions to see what we can cook up.
Okay.
In the kitchen and make something happen.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
So Frank 9, why music, dog? Why do you do music?
That's a good question, actually. I guess music because I've never really had a voice. I've always been that timid guy in the back of the class. I've always been that shy guy who's always afraid to speak up, even though I knew the answers. And music-wise, I just feel like it's just a different platform. Like, people don't know what I look like, but yeah, I have this voice where it's like people want to hear it. And like since the first time I heard myself on just hearing it back, the playback on like recording, I just loved the way I sounded, man, and I just kept going with it, developing a new sound. Obviously, when you first start recording, you don't sound the way you do, but you like the way you sound, just that crispy sound from like the recording. And then yeah, I just started developing like my sound as a artist, and then on top of the beats and stuff.
Okay, that was great. What do you consider your style?
Like genre-wise, or like?
Yeah, genre-wise, and so I guess if you would say hip-hop, what would be your rapping style, or what's your style of music in that genre?
I would definitely say wordplay and storytelling. That's my main go-to. I always try to paint some kind of story with the tracks that I make, even if it's just kind of being lyrical. Even if it's lyrical, I still try to portray some kind of story, some kind of description where people can actually visualize what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's always been the best type of music. Take me on a journey. Don't tell me about all your cars and your money and your clothes and shit. I've been hearing that from every other artist. Talk to me about where you at. Talk to me about where you're going, and talk to me about, most importantly, where you've been at.
Yeah. I love the storytelling. One of my biggest influences is J. Cole. So obviously J. Cole does the whole storytelling thing perfectly. So yeah.
Okay, so painting the story behind Frank 9. Tell me a little bit about yourself as a person and where you came from.
Okay, I guess a little bit about my background would be my parents are first generation immigrants. They came over here, they're Salvadorians, so they came over here looking for a better opportunity, obviously, just like a lot of people out here. And at first they didn't really, have much faith in me. They didn't believe so much in the music thing. Which at first it was a struggle. They really wanted me to go to college, So for a long time, I kind of tried balancing both. Well, 3 things actually. I tried balancing work because I had to pay for college. and I tried balancing college and then music at the same time. I found myself dropping classes. I found myself skipping classes, and then like music wasn't going so well because I didn't have the money to pay for studio time. I didn't have the money to get beats and stuff like that. But eventually, I started just learning my routine and then just really writing down an agenda for myself. And you know, I ended up dropping out of college, and since the day I dropped out, man, it's like music's been taking off, and I've been able to focus all my time on it. So
yeah, 'cause you didn't have all that exterior shit going on.
Yeah, and it's like college. I feel like college is stressful. Anybody who goes to college knows that. Like, it's stressful as fuck having to study, having to
Just be
prep
on
for
yourself.
your tests. Yeah, going to class, knowing that you got projects to do soon and shit like that. So it's like, and then having to work on music, it's like a lot of times I had to put it aside to work on projects, but then I was forcing myself to do something I didn't want to do, and then like put aside something I did want to do. So now that I'm really working on music, like, it's great, man. Like, before I would have, they call writer's block.
Oh yeah, hitting that creative fucking brick
Yeah,
wall,
so
man.
a lot
I've
of
been
times
there.
I would have writer's block, and now it's like, I really don't have it no more. Now I just pick it up.
You're flowing.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything is just like a river.
Yeah.
So where is the city that you're from?
Originally, I want to say I'm from Lakeview Terrace, but not too many people know Lakeview Terrace, so I just say I'm from Sylmar. So it's like, it's a little both. I'm
So
also
you-
Pacoima, so
So you grew up in Pacoima or Lakeview Terrace?
Lakeview Terrace, definitely.
So tell me what it was like being young in Lakeview Terrace.
Man, when I was younger, back in high school, I was a tagger, so a lot of times we just like mob around, going place to place, just hanging out with friends, man. Just, you know, just
Trying not to be
trying to discover, just trying not to be home, just trying to discover places and then trying to find some spots, get our name out there. That's really what I was doing like when I was in high school and then out of high school for the first year.
Okay, so what was I gonna say? What's the best part of Lakeview Terrace?
The best part of Lakeview Terrace, I mean, we're definitely right here at Hanson Dam Park. If you're from Lakeview Terrace, you definitely know Hanson Dam Park. You know, it's a huge park. There's so much to do out here, you know. Picnic areas, barbecue areas. You got the pool, you got the little pond, you got the dam where you could actually run. A lot of people go run there. So yeah, we got the museum they just opened up, the Discovery Cube. This wasn't here too long ago. Now we do. It brings a lot of tourists out here.
I'm actually have to check that out.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great museum. It's more for kids, but if you go there, you'll definitely learn some shit, man.
Shit, I'm still a kid at heart, so I'm like, you know.
Okay, so what's something negative you could say about Lakeview Terrace and
Lakeview
how you
Terrace?
saw it growing up?
I would say we do live like right next door to Pacoima, so you know, the whole gang affiliations, the whole gangs, and just the violence, we do still witness it out here. I myself, not too long ago, I was actually at Hanson Dam Park. I went to go run. On my way home, it was already late, and I was just walking home, man, just down the neighborhood. This dude, I think he was either a tagger, he was a gangbanger, but he was right on the wall. Some dudes in some SUV just pulled up on him. They kind of just like threw each other set at each other. Then they walked away, SUV turned back around, and then they ended up shooting the guy.
Oh my God.
Yeah, right behind me. Like, I had just passed him, and then I looked back. Like, I heard the shots, I looked back, and I just see the guy drop to the floor. So it's like, that's when I noticed, like, damn, like, I didn't even know we were really in the hood, but it is the hood, you know?
Yeah. So, coming from immigrant parents, what's your opinion on ICE checkpoints and all that stuff?
ICE checkpoints, yeah, I hate that shit, man. And it sucks, you know, it sucks that we're in a situation like that, but I don't even know. Like, I personally, I probably won't ever have to face something like that just because I have my documents, you know. Obviously, I was born here, but I do have cousins who, they don't have their papers, you know, and it's like, you kind of just think to yourself, like, fuck, what if that's them in the car, you know, just having to take out all their stuff, you know, they're getting arrested for what? Just because they're over here trying to work for themselves, trying to provide for their family. And it's a horrible situation, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, all I know is that people should know their rights, you know. You don't have to, you can literally roll up your windows, you don't have to unlock your doors for these police officers. It's like, if you learn your rights, then you'll be fine, you know, because they have no jurisdiction to be doing that shit.
It's so disrespectful, honestly.
It is.
It's like, it's always these like soccer moms with the short haircut who don't do shit but cook, who have the most to say about shit, you know? Like these people who have their shit set, you know, they live middle class, you know, they got a husband who goes to work, or they just have always had money in their family, and who are you to say a mother can't try to provide a better future for her child and shit, you know? Like, you drive everywhere, Sandra, you know, she walked through miles of desert, across the river.
Exactly.
So do you think people in a better position shouldn't even speak on what we would go through?
I personally feel like they lob all of Hispanic people in one huge ass bowl. It's like if one person does something, you know, bad, then your whole race is bad. We got to get you guys out of here, you know. And it's like that's the main problem. You got these gangsters fucking shit up for the people who are just trying to provide. And it's like you're not even they're doing all this ICE shit to try to, like, you know, bring the level of violence and crime and shit down. But it's like you're finding families, you know.
And it's funny that they say that they're trying to, that most of the people locked up are criminals and that they have a criminal record and this and that, and that they're trying to clean the streets up. But it's like, if you pay attention to the news and the media, Hispanics aren't the ones committing all these fucking big ass crimes, all these fucking terrorist attacks. It's like really, that's not the right explanation. So
it's just they're just using you guys as a scapegoat for their fucking racial shit that they want to do behind the scenes.
Okay, let me see. Do you think media and social media really explains what really goes on in everyday life?
No, I feel like a lot of times they'll exaggerate, they'll twist things to make it appeal to what they want and whatever's gonna get them views, you know.
Yeah, them clicks, them likes, man, them views, man. It's all that matters nowadays.
So like the narrative is very negative. Like over here, it's really bad over here, right?
Yeah, no, and I learned that in college too. I did take sociology classes, so they told us, like, a lot of the times the media, what they do is they'll twist words, they'll add words in there that exaggerates the whole situation. So
they narrow the truth down, you know. It's like,
and it goes back to like where if let's say a white person commits a robbery, like, they'll say it in a way where he was innocent.
Like fucking young man, you know, a white young male attempts to rob liquor store, but he was a great student back in the day, you know.
Yeah,
just going through like emotional.
And then they'll put a picture of him like when he was like in school, you know great, nice, cleaned up picture.
You know, and now his regular picture is like he looks like a fucking meth addict.
Yeah, but if it's a person of color, it's like they take their mugshot and then they put their mugshot on.
And then they're like, they were charged with this and this and this, and they didn't even finish preschool.
He's gang affiliated.
Like,
he's known to have family members in gangs. And
he skipped a grade in middle, like.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you also film. You're also a cameraman.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that, man.
The camera thing, it's funny because I picked up the camera thing right when I started making music. Obviously, as an artist, you need music videos. So I picked up like a small camera, you know, a little Sony camera at first. The quality was terrible, but I thought it was great at first. I thought my editing was sick at first. I look back at it now, I'm like, damn, okay. But yeah, it started off like that, and then slowly I got myself a Nikon. For a while, I kind of just had the Nikon lying around, but then I started thinking, like, once the photography thing through Instagram really started popping, you know, a lot of people started doing the photography thing. I was like, you know, why not pick it up and try to make some money off of it.
Put your camera to work.
Yeah, exactly. So then I started doing pictures, just kind of like roaming around. It's not like people would book me or anything. I just started like going from place to place, hitting up downtown, Little Tokyo, just starting to really get to know my camera. And then from there, I just started doing videos, which I really fell in love more with shooting videos and taking pictures, because I feel like one of my goals is like to make short films and shit, like short film, like maybe something from here, you know, like I want to say like a hood romance kind of movie, you know.
Oh, like a short movie.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be dope.
So I want to start doing that eventually, but that's one of my goals. But yeah, the whole director thing, I love it, man. I love being able to capture somebody and then just kind of like painting a movie with it. So, and then I love editing too, the whole color correction thing.
Okay, so music and filming, does one trump the other, or is it completely 50-50 for you?
I definitely want music to be my main thing, but the film thing is like, I feel like when it comes to the music, you're an artist, you're in the spotlight, right? but then when it comes to like being a director, you're not so much in the spotlight. You're actually helping somebody else take the spotlight. So it's kind of, I want to say 50-50, but at the same time, it's kind of not. But yeah, I'm going to say 50-50, man. I'll say 50-50.
Okay, Nick, do you have any questions?
I guess I'd like to know, what is it like currently? Like, what is it like trying to get up in the music industry, you know, and get your music out there? Like, what struggles do you come across, or what struggles are you currently going through with that?
There's a lot of struggles. One of the main struggles is competition. And then the fact that the things that's trending and selling right now is not necessarily the best art forms. It's just popularity. It's just a popularity contest.
Absolutely.
So like for the people who really do like to invest their thoughts and really emotion into their music, it's like it's hard for you to get it out there because people are so invested in these things where it's like
a beat, or
it's all about party, it's all about the club music. So I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it is. And music has always been like that, you know, but I just feel like now these industries, and that's why it's so much better to be an independent artist, because I feel like these industries just really, they'll use you up as an artist, especially these young artists. They'll use you up, they'll give you a couple money, without you knowing that you could actually make more than what they're paying you.
Yeah, I feel that, man. It's like being an independent artist right now, even with people who like do videos on YouTube and shit like that, like it's, even though the days of the Wild West are over, like they're coming back around, like with YouTube and like, you know, Spotify, fucking SoundCloud and all that, where you can just, if you got the knowledge and the know-how and the equipment, you could just sit at your house and, you know, make your fame from there. You ain't gotta fucking go to no, you know, industry and ask them for help or get the spotlight and shit. And like you said, being underpaid and fucking ham-fisted on your shit. Like,
and that's a lot of that's some advice I like giving, especially young artists, because there's a lot of young artists I've been meeting recently who they're just getting started, and I like to tell them, don't rush the process, you know, be patient, because a lot of times they want it now, they want it to happen now and quick, but you got to understand, like, if you really want something that's gonna last long, it's not gonna happen quick. It's not something that happens overnight.
Yeah, because all these rappers are momentary.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's like the sound, when it comes to the industry, music industry, mainly the hip hop industry, sound changes. If you look back at the early 2000s, the music that was popping back then, it's not the same as what's popping now. So 5-6 years from now, people that are relevant and people that are popular right now, they won't be able to implement the same sound as 5-6 years from now. It's gonna shift. There's always that shift in the sound. So yeah,
just try to stay ahead of the curve and see what's coming around the corner.
Yeah, exactly.
Would 9 sign a deal right now?
No, I wouldn't. I had a discussion with my homie the other day, and I was telling him, at first I did, you know, but now I kind of don't, because it's just the satisfaction of being able to say, like, you did it by yourself, you know, you did it independently. You didn't need nobody's help, and it's just the validation, you know, people are going to respect you so much more. And you're going to be able to help somebody else. If somebody else helps you, it's like they helped you, so you don't really have that ability to help somebody else bring their name up, because you didn't bring your own name up. You know, somebody else helped you, a record label helped you, or you got co-signed or something.
You know, mentally you patting yourself on the back.
Yeah, exactly.
And you don't need no recognition from nobody, because you already recognize that you here without the help. So it's like, shit, I'm standing with all of y'all, and here y'all are with assistance. So what does that say about me?
Okay, so me knowing who Will is and the whole Gold Mine Studios thing, why don't you explain for me what you guys are doing? Because I watch you, I watch Will, and I see the movement happening. Break it down for me, man.
Shout outs to Will too.
Shout out to Will.
Boy,
yeah, shout out to
my
Will.
boy. Well, we kind of, I want to say, right now what we've been trying to do is like more live instrumentations instead of just the beats. But obviously we got to find people who play instruments and all this. But what we really try to do is just make music where, you know, that tells our story, really paints our picture. We don't try to fit in with what everybody else is doing. We try to stand out as much as we can. And then, I don't know. I feel like Will just has a sauce, man. Like, when it comes to engineering, you can just tell, like, he's mixing his shit. And then that's why I've only trusted him as my engineer for, like, the past 5-6 years. because I know how invested he is, and I know how these other engineers work. They're focused on the money. He's not focused about the money, man.
He's focused on the sound.
He's all about his sound, his quality. You know, I see him purchasing new gear every week. You know, and then that's how I know it's not about the money, because I see other engineers where like they're making good money, but yet they're over here posting the new shoes that they got. You know, they got this new chain. And it's
with
like,
the same equipment since they started.
Exactly. They're not moving up. They're not building themselves. They're just like, they're staying cool because they're comfortable there. They're making good money, but then Will, I see him. He's trying to build something bigger. He's trying to build something greater. You know.
So 9, what's next, man? What's the next step and what's the end goal?
The next step from here would be really just building my team, like, and that's what I've been working on slowly. Just people joining my team and really being able to form a circle where we help each other, you know, and we come up together. And then the end game would be, and I always tell people because family comes first. So the end game is just making my family proud and for them to be taken care of, you know. As long, like if I were to pass today, I know they're not taken care of. So my end game is if I were to pass, I know they're set. So.
Okay. Nick, any last questions? Anything you want to ask him?
No, I mean, I feel like we hit all the notes that needed to be hit. You know, I just want to go back on what you did with your name. You know, mad respect for, you know, putting some semblance on someone who pretty much brought you to the game.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Got you interested in all of it, you know?
Yeah, and it's funny because my uncle, I never thought back to it too. Like, I just thought back to it this year where, like, I had actually forgot that he took me, like, to guitar lessons and shit. Like, that's somebody who, like, I guess they thought I had a thing for music, like, even before I did. Like, I was just, what was I, like 7 years old when I used to go, so. But yeah, man, it's just crazy, so. And I miss him, like, I talk to him once in a while, but, like, obviously it's not the same. He's living, like, in the East Coast somewhere, so. But, yeah.
All right, so shout out to him. Maybe he'll see this and
yeah, maybe
he'll shoot you a call, man. Be like, yo, man, see what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, sorry. 9. What's something you want to put out there, and go ahead and just sign me out, man.
You know, my Aboriginals brand. So a little quote that I've done is, tomorrow's not promised, so dream big. So just dream big, man.
All right, man. On the corner interviews, 9, Nick. We got Severino in the back. Shout out to him. Shout out to Will, Gold Mine Studios. I'm out.